Hi everyone. Today I wanted to share some thoughts. Hopefully, there are some comforting thoughts about the twin flame journey and the encounters when we meet our counterpart, and also through time, to whether we're in physical separation or together. We are faced with meeting our counterpart or being with them. We are faced with the idea and the concept and the experience of true love. And whether we want to believe it or not at first, that is what is going on. And one of the main purposes for this is to reintroduce or introduce us to love within ourselves, and then also for our counterpart as well. So, depending on where you're at when you meet your twin flame, this could have very uh, different paths that you go on, different challenges that come up. So, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit today and just see, some of us as adults, we could be middle aged, we could be any age really, and you could just basically be somewhat jaded in relationships. You can be just fresh out of going through a divorce. So it depends, on where we do take this, but there's no way not to take it because that is what happens if it is an authentic counterpart, and we believe that it is that person, whether we see them or not, or we're in physical separation. We are faced with that, and it depends on what do we believe at this point in our lives when we are meeting them. But what do we believe about love? One of the first things that I have realized on this journey, and also other divine feminines that I've spoken to have realized on this journey, and I'm sure divine masculines as well, but in a different way, um, maybe a little bit slower to react to this or to respond to this. Over time, it does develop, but I am speaking about the counterpart that is awakened first. Primarily, I'm speaking about them because sometimes it is articulated this way through the feminine energy. But I just want to say that we are looking at for the first time, like I said, we can be jaded. We can say, oh, well, true love, yes, that's for movies and Disney. And, so what is going on here? It must be my mind. And that's basically a very common reaction. We go to our mind and we start questioning things because we are saying we loved in our lives many people or some people, soulmates, karmics, and friends and family, but there's nothing quite like this. So when this comes about, there are a lot of questions and there is a lot of adjusting. And it does take time. There is no surprise that time, 3D time, goes by and we are still getting acclimated. And in the meantime, some of us have to deal in the 3D with our authentic twin flame, whether it's at work or it's a friend of a friend or it's in our friend group. Some of us are, yes, encountering them and never seeing them again for a while and are in separation, physical separation. But others do run into this person, and it is, we have to navigate that too, and that could be for another video. That's not really what I'm talking about here. But as far as the intimacy that and the love that we are facing and looking at the beginning, when this first happens, it is an adjustment. And many of us who are unconsciously choosing to have our spiritual awakening in this way, there are many different spiritual awakenings, types of them. And this one, twin flame, is a specifically, different and challenging, let's just say, because of the 3D, 5D factor. And also, I do want to make um, a point to this. Some of us have never really experienced, let's just say, telepathy or getting 5D messages or dreams, dream meetings, shared dreams, until we encounter our twin flame. And that is actually what happened to me. For the most part, I didn't experience these things until then. And that, again, brings you to the mind and you start questioning things about your mind. So it is very common to initially feel like, well, I just must be going crazy. And over time, because we do have to give ourselves time to adjust and to get some sense, because like I said, we can't just get rid of our mind. After a while, we may decide, or we already are, meditating, and this does help. This helps to separate the mind from the spiritual life. And that is definitely encouraged. But those of us who are not meditating as much as we'd like to, and or just starting to, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a new experience in our spiritual perspective, our spiritual, like I said, some of us have had these kind of psychic or telepathic experiences all our lives, so it's not as surprising. It's not as throwing you off ground. This can really be. I like to use the term here, soul shocking, because for many of us it is. And depending on our circumstance, how we are going to proceed, are we going to be in contact with our twin flame? Are we dating our twin flame? You know, so sorry about that. So that is what I wanted to bring attention to. One of the main reasons why we do have a twin flame spiritual awakening is so that we are invited into the world of intimacy, into, if we are young enough or youthful enough, let's say, maybe it's the first time we are looking at and experiencing true intimacy. Maybe it is after time of dismissing true intimacy from our lives. Maybe we are divorced or separated, depending on the circumstances of how we are dealing with what we are witnessing, basically, and firsthand. So that is why it is a rough road, especially at first, and to get, and then the waking up either slowly or some of us quickly, quicker than others, uh, depending divine feminine, divine masculine. So these are all specifics, and that is why I do offer coaching, private consultations, one-to-one, and I give the best advice that I possibly can, especially learning about your specific circumstances is very important. So I just want to address here that if anybody is feeling like they're going crazy, it is just so understandable. You're not. I think I've been asked that question
so often from so many different people on the journey that it is a very common experience, a very common insecurity that does come up. And this journey is so much about building or rebuilding trust in ourselves. And that would include in our minds. And it is not to say that we would dismiss anything that is spiritually occurring and go to a mind that's solid, grounded, headspace. No, it is actually in the separation of the two and the learning that there are two different tracks, our mind and what the greatest purposes for it is. I'm certainly not going to say that there's no purpose for it. And our heart and spirit, what is the purpose of this journey and using our heart space and spiritual eyes um, when we're on this, when we're going through this. It's the separation of the two and how to live with both in balance, ultimately. So anytime you feel like you're going crazy, please, you can email me or you can leave comments, leave questions. I try to get to them every other day as often as I can. So just please like and subscribe if you are relating to any of this. Um, like I said, we do have different experiences, so please, you can share in the comments if you're not ready now for consultation or coaching. Just share your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced any of this soul shock or intimacy, true intimacy, true love for the first time? Or did you give up on this and now here it is? Just share your thoughts. This would be very welcoming. I love to read about everybody's, different experiences and so much similarities there also, to see if you're on this journey. And I remember when I used to feel alone, it is really great to get on this, go um, into your heart, pay attention to the heart. Pay attention to the heart and realize it's just as important as the mind. If not, most of us, sometimes we feel like it's more important. So, but, it's all about learning and it's all about, my, a tip here would be to resist what is happening as little as possible. As, as often as possible, try to not resist, is what I meant. Resistance in this often causes pain, and many times when we're doubting our minds and doubting ourselves, we are going to resist what is happening. So if we can try to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, don't even think about unconditional love, unconditional trust in ourselves, um, being our best friends, loving ourselves like our own child. Don't even go there yet, especially if you're new on the journey. Just give yourself the benefit of the doubt and realize how many videos are here in YouTube and twin flame community saying you're not crazy. So give that the benefit of the doubt because I'm here to tell you the same. If there's any other reason why you think you're crazy, then there's therapy and like I said, I do offer coaching. So, but as far as you thinking that this must be imagination, true love doesn't really exist, what is going on? Why do I feel so much love for the first time? This must be me, my imagination. If you feel you have met your authentic twin flame, you're not imagining anything. And if you have had experiences, telepathic, 5D experiences for the first time, This is all part of the journey, and welcome. So, so this is just actually, just wanted to briefly go over some of this topic as far as trusting yourself and trying not to go off the rails with insecurity, just trying to reel it back in and saying, I think I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt and maybe I'm just not crazy. And, however your counterpart is acting, try not to let that define what is going on. Try to let you define what is going on. Because that is what this is about. That is what this journey is about. Finding you and ultimately loving you more than you've ever had. And I'm not dismissing the authenticity of the twin flame because that does also exist and there is a purpose to that. And depending on if you agree and timing and free will, you can also get together in the physical and stay together in harmonious connection as you both learn and keep learning and keep expanding. It's not about getting together and then you close the books and close the door and don't even meditate anymore because there they are. No, it doesn't really stop. For the twins to stay in harmony, whether it's in the energy or the physical, it is about expansion. It's different, could look very different as far as a relationship. It's about expansion, it's about learning, it's about loving. And a good way to begin doing that is to start this process of bonding with yourself. And that is what your twin flame wants for you, ultimately. They actually can't be in harmony with you very easily in the energy if you're not true to yourself, if you're not loving yourself. And they often, we can get together with our twin flames on and off, push and pull. But as far as staying in harmonious connection, a prerequisite to that, really, or an ongoing process is all about being with yourself and learning about self-love and unconditional love for yourself and for each other. So that will be it for today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment area, or like I said, you can email me. So I'm hoping that I provided at least some comfort to somebody on this journey. And I did say when you're new to the journey, you can be on the journey for a long time, and very often we go through cycles and seasons of the journey, and especially if you're in separation too, that things can change and it can feel new again. You can feel like you have the same kind of pain or the same kind of wounding coming up that you did in the beginning. So this is not only for people that are new on the journey, it's for all of us. And I just hope you just relax and try to um, not resist as much as you can, as often as you can, and know that it's coming from you, and you are getting to know you in a different way now, and it is quite beautiful. And the more you stay on it, and the more you stay with it, the more beautiful it becomes. So thank you, and I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to everybody soon.